So if I step back, you can see the sheer amount of space you have in the center of the room. So what I figure is I'm probably going to put my figures against the wall on their shelves. And I can have the center of the room, maybe a little table for assembly. Because you can see I have a few figures here. I have a Captain Picard figure. I have 2 figures from Episode 1, Newt Gunray and Jar Jar Binks. And then I have the 2 vintage collection figures, Boba Fett and Lando Calrissian. And of course I have the Rogue One Darth Vader. Then I have some bigger figures. Kylo Ren, but if you look, you'll see the red marks on his helmet, so you know he is the Episode 9 Kylo Ren. And then of course, Solo from Solo: A Star Wars Story. And almost, well, 5 years ago now, when Star Wars turned 40, I bought the 5 figures that I could. So you have Darth Vader, you have Obi-Wan, you have Luke, you have Leia, and you have Han Solo. You have the Power of the Force Boba Fett figure. This is from 1995. And if you look at the back of it, you can see the other power, his whole biography. Well, stats anyway. You can see the other figures that they had at the time. I had Han, I had Leia, and I had Obi-Wan. Now the 3PO and R2 I have, they look very similar to the 3PO and R2 on the shelf. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that is them. And then of course, you get a closer look at the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett figure. Let's see what date we have on a copyright date here. 2010. Oh my goodness, he's not even in a protective case. And yet he's already, well, 12 years old this year, right? So there's some of the figures. There we go. That's a good card. And then, of course, you have Lando Calrissian here. So let's see what his date is. Oh, he doesn't seem to have one, as far as I can tell. It's probably a newer one. But look, it's an 8, what they call an 8-back, because you can see the other 8 figures that come in the line. I also have my Star Wars 40 Years figures here, and my Masters of the Universe books. And of course you can see the range of figures I have here, all from the Black Series. So you have Chewbacca, you have Obi-Wan, you have Kylo Ren, you have Grand Admiral Thrawn, and behind them you have Stormtrooper Han in his disguise, IG-88, Stormtrooper Luke, and of course Last Jedi Luke. And those last 4 figures were presents from a friend of mine a few years ago. And you can see the Star Wars 40 Years here. You can see the other Star Wars figures I have. Now, I found Finn from Episode 7. And if you look over here, you'll see the 1995 Power of the Force Boba Fett. You'll see the Empire Strikes Back 40 Years Yoda figure. And of course, if you look over here, you can see the Black Series Return of the Jedi Boba Fett figure. Why, he certainly has everything. I'll show you the Star Wars figures I bought, which are newer ones. Okay, thanks for waiting. I'm back. Alright, so I'll show you the Star Wars figures one by one. So, it's from The Mandalorian. Though, of course, it's from the Retro Collection Mandalorian. Then you have one that's not from the retro collection, so it doesn't look all battered. It's Mando himself, with all his accessories. And of course you have Moff Gideon. There you go. And then you get into Force Awakens. So I have Kylo Ren figure. And I have Rey. And of course I have Supreme Leader Snoke from The Last Jedi. Now what I hope to do is get most of these figures autographed by their respective actors, at least on the card back, so that when you, if I do eventually open the figures, I'll be able to have a nice backdrop for each of them. Alright, then we have to take a look at the other figures I have. So, Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett. Makes like the third Boba Fett figure I have. He's from 2010. So, he's already 12 years old, but he's in great shape. Then, of course, you have Retro Collection Empire Strikes Back Han Solo. 2020, okay, good. For Empire Strikes Back, 40 years. This is Lando Calrissian from The Empire Strikes Back, but he doesn't say Retro Collection. And it's hard to find his copyright date, but I guess... Well, no, it says Vintage Collection right there. But... Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Now, of course, you also have the Retro Collection Lando, and let's take a good look here. The one glaring difference I see is the Retro Collection Lando is much darker than even he is in his picture. So, but his shirt is a lot brighter. And his weapon has no chrome, so... Okay. Then you have the Retro Collection Leia. You have Return of the Jedi Han Solo. It's probably from 2010 or... there we go. 2021. And, because these figures don't take up a lot of room when they're carded, even, you have Return of the Jedi Princess Leia from the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm. So I imagine that she is a 2021 figure. So just one more row to show you, and then I'll be done with this by then, nearly 30-minute Part 5 toy video. And I just noticed the way I put the figure side by side, you have Boba Fett and the Mandalorian front and center, just as they should be. And at least one of them is allied with Darth Vader. That's the Rogue One Darth Vader. And you can see his famous scene from the hallway on the Tantive 4 when he's holding someone up against the ceiling with the Force. 2020. Then you have the Rogue One Stormtrooper. Now, if I look... there we go. Right from the movie. 2016. Yeah, kept him in good shape after all those years of being buried in a box. Then you get into the Episode 1 figures that I found at the a toy shop in Aurelia. So you have mint on card 3PO. I had a loose one, but I got lost over the years, so I started replacing my figures. You have the Jar Jar Binks. You have Padme. You have Senator Palpatine. And the final one is not... Oh, well, from Episode 1. Yes, here we go. Darth Sidious. So that Star Wars shelf in particular gives me a few candidates to fill in at the next toy convention, which is, as of now, March 27th, Sunday, at the Mississauga, Ontario Hilton in Mississauga, Canada.